Hi, I'm Thiago Passos for SSW TV, and today we are at Microsoft Ignite Australia in the beautiful Gold Coast. I'm here with Aaron Saikovski, and he's a solution architect for Rackspace.
Correct.
Hi Aaron, how's it going?
How you going? Good to see you.
Good. So today we're going to talk about ARM.
Yeah.
All right, so Azure Resource Manager. So can you give us a bit of an overview about it?
Yeah, sure. So ARM came about from the days of Service Manager in Azure. So what the case was, in the old days of doing things in Azure, you had to do things programmatically, write a lot of code, and it wasn't a great way to do deploying infrastructure. So where ARM came about was a way of declaratively defining your architecture, your infrastructure in the cloud effectively. Mm-hmm. AWS has been doing it for some time with CloudFormation, and Azure has sort of followed suit. So it's a way of defining your infrastructure via a bunch of templates with predefined, variables and whatnot, and that's dynamic based on the different parameters you can pass into it. Mm-hmm. So it's a declarative way of defining your different stacks, and you can layer them, and you can deploy them in different regions, name them according to your naming conventions, and tagging as well is very important.
Okay.
And grouping resources together is very important as well.
Nice. So what people need to know about Azure Resource Manager, and also some of the limitations about it?
Yeah, so the best way to get started is to just spin up some infrastructure and just have a look and understand how the infrastructure fits together in Azure. You can also download some predefined templates off GitHub and the template gallery. That'll get you started as well. But also too, when you do deploy stuff in Azure, you can actually reverse engineer it out to create a template, to get an idea of what you've built through the portal is what's reflected in the template. There are certain limitations as well, with some things aren't fully supported in ARM yet, but the products keep evolving, and there's a lot of things you'll be able to do through the ARM templates to deploy. So,
okay. Is there any limitations when you are in that free tier? Because a lot of people go to Azure and they've got that free tier just to try it out. Can you do that with ARM?
You
already?
can. There's certain things you may not be able to provision, like some of the bigger instances, the bigger VMs, like the G series, those sort of things. You might be limited to those. Mm-hmm. Like obviously they'll restrict you to what you can deploy, and also the amount of infrastructure you can deploy in the free tier. Because then what they want you to do is to move to a PAYG model where you start paying for it. So there are some limitations with that.
And what sort of tools do you use for your day-to-day job when you are working with ARM?
Yeah, so I typically use Visual Studio 2015. Now 2017 is coming out soon. So it's got really nice tooling with the JSON Explorer as part of the project, so you can navigate through the project. There's also Visual Studio Code, which is a great tool with the ARM extensions. And there's all the other tools, Notepad++, Sublime.
So you mainly work with the JSON file?
Yeah. So the JSON file, you work with that, and it's got a lot of tooling and everything like that around it. So the tooling is very good. The tricky bit is debugging it sometimes, because it's it's a very verbose language, and sometimes you may miss a bracket or a semicolon or a comma. So it's hard to debug.
Can you connect to Azure from Visual Studio to get the parameters that you need for your JSON file?
If I've got a JSON file with no parameters, I go right-click deploy, and it will actually auto-generate a parameters file for me. So next time I run it, I've got a copy of that.
Okay, so it brings back the all the parameters that you need, so you can populate.
So if you've got an ARM template with no parameters file, you can deploy that, and that will just give you a parameters file with all the parameters you've entered in when you deploy it.
Cool. Yeah. So the cool thing about ARM is being able to automate the process, right? So you create a template and then you can automate the process. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how does that work?
Yeah. So what you can do is you can do your code inside Visual Studio as a normal Visual Studio type project, except it's an ARM type template project. You can do your code, your ARM templates, even your PowerShell, roll all of that up and then push it into VSTS or GitHub or whatever it is, and then you can pull that using various other services like VSTS to push it out to your infrastructure where it is, or your subscriptions where you need it.
All right, so apart from the JSON file, you can still write some PowerShell scripts or C# code within that template.
Well, the thing is to remember, really all the ARM is a wrapper for the APIs. So underneath Azure, it's basically a whole bunch of API endpoints that you're calling at runtime. This is a way of abstracting it up into a way that's human readable. So you say, I want to deploy a VM here with these settings, and it's all declared for me. It just makes it repeatable as well.
Nice. Do you have any exciting news coming up or any talk that you're doing in the future?
I'm not doing any major talks, right. I've done two here at Ignite, but I've got some of the big news is some of the announcements with managed disks, because we're for Rackspace, we do a lot of hosting and services for companies and support, is managed disks. So we do a lot of virtual machine deployments for customers. So managed disks is going to simplify that for us a lot. Also too, the scaling of the scale sets is something we're really interested in as well. So we're looking out for customers. There's a lot of tooling, we talk to Microsoft a lot around the monitoring and tools and everything, so there's a lot coming. Stuff they haven't told us yet, some stuff they have told us.
Yeah, nice.
So wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Also, you're going to provide the slide deck for your talk.
I will, yeah, I've got slides. I did a presentation here on ARM Templates 101 with a demo. I'll provide the code and the templates as well, so people can download it and have a look at it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
No worries,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
coming here.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
talking to us.
Great talking to you.
This is Thiago Passos for SSW TV. Thanks for watching.